20 to Pashman Stein, PC, not to exceed $9,500. Number 18, approve amendment of Resolution R102053. Reason, add certification of funds for the water utility in the amount of $15,000 for temperature control HVAC maintenance and repairs with Unitemp Incorporated, specification number 81523, not to exceed $15,000. Approval of this change order will constitute an increase of 20% or more of the original contract. Number 19, approve amendment of Resolution R092034. Reason, additional amount of $5,000 for the administration department with Sal Electric Company for electrical maintenance and repair services, specification number 73419P, not to exceed $5,000. Approval of this change order will not constitute an increase of 20% or more of the amount of the original contract. Number 20, a resolution to authorize the issuance of a hotel-motel exemption liquor license as provided by NJSA 33:1-1220, pursuant to NJSA 33:1-19.3 et sequence. Number 21, resolution authorizing budget transfers 2020 municipal budget. 22, approve amendment of Resolution R112055. Reason, add rain dates and additional routes, approving requests for annual holiday horse-drawn carriage rides for 2020, requested by the New Brunswick City Market for a free horse-drawn carriage ride through downtown New Brunswick, Thursdays, December 3rd, December 10th, and December 17th, 2020, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. The rain dates are Sundays, December 13th and December 20th, 2020. The time is 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Police extra duty. 23, authorize tax collector to transfer overpayments on taxes and utilities. 24, approve renewal of liquor license with special ruling for 2020-2021 for George Baroud, inactive, liquor license number 1214-33-02-010. Number 25, approve relaxation of city noise ordinance and road closures requested by Maxim Crane Works for reason to replace an emergency backup generator on the rooftop of the Middlesex County. Closure is Kirkpatrick Street from Byard Street to Patterson Street, Saturday, December 5th, 2020. The alternate date is Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. 26, approve relaxation of the city noise ordinance requested by J. Howe Cranes Incorporated. Reason to replace the HVAC system on the rooftop of 25 Van Dyke Avenue. The date was Saturday, November 28th, 2020. The hours were 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. non-pro tunc. Number 27, approve award of contract with Montana Construction Corporation Incorporated for equipment and labor. The terms of 24-month period commencing December 6th, 2020 and ending December 5th, 2022. Specification number 860-20B, not to exceed $579,000. 28, approve request for street closing requested by New Brunswick City Market. It's George Street between Patterson Street and Church Street, and between Church Street and Albany Street for ice sculpting demonstrations. The dates are Friday, December 4th and 11th, 2020, and Thursday, December 17th, 2020, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Police extra duty. Resolution number 29, approve request for use of city property requested by the New Brunswick Cultural Center Incorporated, location Monument Square Park, for a visit from Santa at the New Brunswick Performing Arts Center, Sunday, December 13th, 2020. The time is 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. We have items for discussion by council. We have an OEM COVID-19 report. We have a Code Blue update report, and any council members that wish to say anything will be asked to. We then have public comment. And remember that the next meeting is December 16th. That's the agenda review session first, and followed by the city council meeting. All right. Now call the meeting to order. The clerk will please call the roll.
Councilmember Egan.
Here.
Councilmember Escobar.
Here.
Councilmember Fleming.
Here.
Council Vice President Sikora Ludwig.
Here.
Council President Anderson.
Here. We have an Open Public Meeting Act statement. Please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act have been complied with and satisfied, in that the annual notice, which gave sufficient notice of the time and place, conduct of all public meetings of the Municipal Council of the City of New Brunswick, has been filed with the City Clerk, has been placed on the appropriate bulletin board and posted in the back vestibule of City Hall, visible to the public through the windows in the lobby of City Hall, New Brunswick, New Jersey. Has been transmitted to the official newspaper for the City of New Brunswick, namely the Home News Tribune. Additionally, a 48-hour notice of the time, place, and manner of conducting this meeting has been made by the city clerk on November 30th, 2020, as is required by law. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy has issued executive orders limiting the size of public gatherings. The City Council will meet voting members of the City Council remotely by telephonic conferencing system. The City Council intends to meet on a regular schedule and will meet the guidelines of the Open Public Meetings Act by utilizing conferencing systems. Public participation in a public meeting has been revised. The public may participate through a conference call-in system. The public is encouraged to call into the conference call-in system through the phone numbers and access codes transmitted in the 48-hour notice and posted in the back vestibule of City Hall, visible to the public through the windows. Some city employees will also be available via the conference call during this meeting as well. All on the conference call will have the opportunity to hear the City Council meeting. During the portions of the meeting that are not open for public comment, all callers from the public will be muted, and the council will not be able to hear any public comment through the conference call system. During the public comment periods, those on the conference line calls who have interest in the council will first be organized by last name and then called upon to speak. After all organized members of the public speak, and again, they speak once and for no more than 5 minutes in any given public meeting portion. The timer will chime at the completion of each 5-minute period, and I'll notify you that your time has expired. Public, if you're still needing assistance accessing the call-in number, please call City Hall at 732-745-5007. Would you please stand if you're able for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You can pause for a moment of silence for our men and women serving in our armed forces, here and abroad, especially those that are in combat, those who have given the ultimate sacrifice of their lives in fighting for this country, those men and women that are here, have come back wounded or other mental problems. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the minutes from October 21st.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. Report of the correspondence by the City Clerk's Office.
Council President, the correspondence received by the City Clerk's Office has been forwarded to the appropriate department for further action.
Thank you. We have no public hearings other than our ordinance. We have an ordinance for discussion on second reading. Number 1, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 1020, Handicapped Parking, Section 102010, Schedule 39, Parking Zones for Handicapped Persons. We'll be adding 275 Comstock Street, 61 Troop Avenue, and 313 Sedam Street. We will now open it up to the public. We will start asking your last names as we go through the alphabet. Your last name, letter I call out. Would you please call out your name and put you on the list?
Unmuted.
We'll start first meeting of the month, so we start with A. So call out your last name if you'd like to be on the list. If your last name begins with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L,
Charlie Cradaville.
M.
Laura Mers.
Mers.
Yes, Mers.
Okay, thank you. K, L, M.
Danielle
N.
Moore.
Ms. Moore. N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, Z. And second time, anybody, A, Z, that we might have missed. And a third time, A through Z, anybody else that we might have missed that wants to be on there to discuss the second reading on this ordinance. Okay, that'll be closed. Madam Clerk, our first
Muted.
list is,
Council President, the first person on the list is Mr. Charlie Cradaville.
Cradaville, you're up on the ordinance for the handicapped persons.
Good evening, Charles
Good
Prattville, New Brunswick today. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I hope you're doing well. I do want to ask about the process by which, people can get these, permission to have a parking spot on their block. I want to understand how long the process takes, because I know you're changing the ordinances of the city, so you need to have 2 meetings to do that. Is it necessary to do that, or is there a way that the city could, either enable the parking authority to have the authority to make a final decision, or to do this by resolution, perhaps? Is that something that you've thought of to, better serve the public?
Mr. Drulis, Mr. Sham? Sorry, do we have?
Yeah, I'm here, Mr. Council President. We had an issue with the mute button.
Okay.
What I could say is these particular handicap parking spaces and zones are designated by our city ordinance. In order to amend the city ordinance, it has to be done through this process, through the council on first and second reading. In order for the designation to be legal, it has to follow this process in order for the parking zone or space to be properly enforced as well under Title 39. So I could appreciate the comment about streamlining the process, but it wouldn't be appropriate, in my opinion, to have the parking authority or the traffic commission make these types of decisions. Obviously, there's a vetting process and a recommendation, but ultimately, in my opinion, it has to come before the city council for adoption on ordinance, after first and then second reading.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Mr.
well,
Cradiville?
yeah, certainly. Yeah, I just know the folks who need this and benefit from this, obviously, their situation remains the same throughout the months-long process of getting this, and just would encourage the mayor to sign this ordinance right away, since I can see here it's going to take another 20 days following final adoption and publication, and maybe that's one thing that's not necessary. I do believe the council can pass ordinances that take effect sooner if you have a supermajority, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Shammy, but I would think that since folks at this stage probably have been waiting already for over a month for the for what they're entitled to and should get, I do think that going forward there's got to be a better way, and perhaps the state law needs to be changed to facilitate that, but I would say at the very least get this to the mayor as soon as possible so he can sign it as soon as possible and mitigate any further delays. And that's all I had. Mr. Shammy, am I correct about that the council could pass an ordinance that doesn't have that 20-day?
Hold on a second. There is a process whereby the council can declare an emergency and have an ordinance take effect immediately. There are certain requirements for that. With respect to the 20-day waiting period, that's state law. That's something the council doesn't have the ability to change. As a practical matter, I could represent that I'm aware that the mayor, assuming he's in the following day or so after these ordinances are adopted, he is presented with these ordinances by the clerk's office and does sign them expeditiously. So I don't believe there's any real weight in that part of the process.
Okay. Well, I hope that it's signed swiftly. Thank you for answering my questions.
Thank you, Mr. Cradiville. Madam Clerk, please, next person up. Sorry, right, Madam Clerk, the next person to speak.
Council President, the next person on the list is Ms. Laura Mers.
You just give for the record.
Yes, this is Laura Murph. My question was answered, so I don't have anything at this time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Madam Clerk, next up.
Council President, the next person on the list is Ms. Danielle Moore.
Ms. Moore, give your name and address for the record.
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Danielle Moore, 272 Hamilton Street. Majority of the questions was answered, but I do have one question that I think I misunderstood. So does this still have to go through the traffic authority first before it goes to city council?
The parking authority, you asked?
Well, normally the parking authority and the traffic meeting was combined together due to what Mr. Mitch was in charge of the traffic meeting. So in order to, does this have to pass through the traffic authority meeting, then to city council, then to the mayor?
Mr. Jamie?
Councilman, this is Lieutenant Johnson, if you can hear me.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Gav.
Hey, they fill the applications out at the authority. We have the handicap application. Once they fill it out, we correspond with engineering and we go out and we check the location, make sure it doesn't have off-street parking, then we will do the measurements. That's what the authority does with the parking.
You then give it to the the traffic commission?
Yeah, well, once they fill out for it, they fill the application out at the parking authority, and once it's filled out, and then we'll submit it, do the measurements, and then we'll put it through to the engineering department, and we'll send it to council.
Okay. Thank you. Do you understand that, Ms. Moore?
Oh, okay. I guess it was a change where there's basically no more parking authority meetings, but traffic meetings. Due to I know that's how Mr. Mitch used to do it during the traffic meeting, saying that it has to go through there and then to parking through the city. But okay, my question was answered. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moore.
You're welcome.
Madam Clerk, who's next?
Council President, there are no more members of the public on the list.
Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So the public hearing is closed.
Move the ordinance?
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. We have ordinances on first reading. Number one, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title III, Revenue and Finance, Chapter 328, Fee Schedule, Section 328-120, Parks and Recreation Fees in regards to amending the recreation permit fees.
Move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, December 16th, 5:30 p.m., same date to be advertised.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. First reading, number two, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title II, Administration and Personnel, Chapter 2.64, Department of Police, in regards to police extra duty rates for 2021 through 2024.
Move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, December 16th, 5:30 p.m., same date to be advertised.
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. Number three, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 8, Health and Safety, Chapter 840, Solid Waste Collection and Disposal, Section 840-040-C, Regulations in regards to recycling containers.
Move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, December 16th, 5:30 PM, same date to be advertised.
second,
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
yes,
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. We now have resolutions 1 through 29. This time, we are preparing to open the meeting again to the public comment on the resolutions only for up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. In order to assure that the City Council can hear from the interested public and the public can hear public comment, I will organize the speakers in order by last name. In a moment, I will unmute the public call-in. At that time, I will ask you to provide me with your last name and first name. After asking 3 times, I will then close the public comment portion, and we'll have our speakers. Please be mindful that your voice is being telephonically transmitted and to speak slowly and clearly for the benefit of all. I will ask you that you please remain silent when I initially unmute the phone so that we can hear each other and then begin the speaker registration process. Again, as a reminder, all other members of the public will be muted in order to ensure that the City Council can clearly hear and understand the recognized speakers who are speaking on the resolutions and resolutions only. So we will unmute the public at this time. And again, if your last name begins with the letters that I call out, would you please call out your name so we can put you on the list? Last names beginning with the letters
Unmuted.
C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L.
Cradaville Charlie.
J, K, L, M, N.
Danielle Moore.
More. M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. And for a second time, anyone, letters A through Z, if your last name begins with A through Z, please call out if you'd like to talk on the resolutions. And for a third time, anyone, letters A through Z, if you'd like to talk on the resolutions, please call out your last name. Okay, that's the third time. So we will start. Madam Clerk, the first person on the list.
Muted.
Council President, the first person on the list is Mr. Charlie Cradaville.
Mr. Cradaville, you are up first.
Yes, sir. Just a point of order. I think I heard Danielle Moore trying to get on the list. Did you get her?
Yeah, we have her already.
Okay. Charlie Cradaville, New Brunswick today. A few resolutions I want to ask about. First of all, 6 and 17, payment of council fees. Sir, do you have any comment on these cases?
No, unless handling them decides to put them out.
Right. So, in case you're unaware of the details, the first is a matter that I brought against the city regarding a number of violations of the Open Public Records Act. I did not win on every part of the case, but I did win insofar as the judge forced the city to release the audited financial statements of the developers or the businesses that you have granted long-term tax exemptions to. And I can kind of see why maybe you guys fought this, because apparently there are no records for the business that was granted a tax exemption for the Walgreens area. Of course, you know who owns that business, Jack Morris. And the city was unable to produce the audited financials for Mr. Morris's companies for 2008, 2009, and 2016. So once the judge ordered you to produce it, and only after the judge ordered you to produce it, did it become known that the city actually doesn't have those audited financial statements, can't find them, or maybe never received them. And so I would ask, could the city clerk enlighten us as to whether or not these records were ever received? Is Jack Morris's company out of compliance with their own pilot agreement for failing to provide the required annual financial statements, or did the city lose them and can't locate them?
I don't know. Mr. Sham, you want to start first?
Yeah, let me answer
On the
that
resolution,
Let me answer that question. With respect to the issue of the resolution and the council fees, Mr. Cradaville is correct. He did not win everything on that particular matter. What I will say is that prior to this lawsuit, there was one or maybe two government records council decisions which supported the city's position relative to not releasing financial information. So the city was never looking to hide any information. There's a balancing act, unfortunately, that goes into place with respect to each OPA request. We have to respect the privacy of individuals, at the same time attempt to comply with the transparency which is required by OPRA. So I just want to make that clear. With respect to the issue of the financial statement, apparently 2008, 2009, and 2016 were not located. And certainly I will represent to the council that our former CFO, who was here many years, was, in my opinion, very diligent in obtaining those financial records each and every year. So I would venture to suspect, and my theory would be, we did receive them in a timely fashion, and unfortunately, over the years, they were misplaced and unable to be located in connection with Mr. Cradaville's request. So there's nothing sinister whatsoever that went on, in my opinion. We check each and every year to make sure all of our property owners who are subject to pilots comply with the pilot. So that's the response to Mr. Cradaville's question.
Thank you for the response. Just want to encourage the council, if you do have time, to read Judge McCloskey's ruling in this, because I think it does speak to the importance of having these documents be public documents, and also the fact that other towns around the county do treat them as public documents and provide them in response to OPA requests, in stark contrast with this city's response to my request. And again, have to raise concerns about Jack Morris potentially not being compliant here, and the city's system not being fulsome and not actually maintaining these audits as you should, so that people can check them. And then finally, I do want to just ask about the other one, the New Brunswick Today lawsuit against the city. And for the record, this is one where we won outright, 100%. The judge agreed the document should be public. It's a pandemic response plan that the city put together. You guys said it should be kept secret. Your attorneys with the Hoagland firm made a bunch of statements that really didn't hold up once we saw the document. Said here, quote, "There are specific individuals identified in that document who are responsible to provide essential functions in the event there is a pandemic or catastrophe," and that it implied that somehow this information could fall into the wrong hands and these people would be under attack or vulnerable to attack. And when we got the document, there was only one name in it. It's Brandon Goldberg, and it says that you're supposed to tell your supervisor if you're sick, and they're supposed to call Brandon Goldberg. And so I'd like the city to explain why on earth they tried to keep this document a secret. We're going to release it to the public, and they'll see for themselves. But the statements made by your counsel were just way far afield from reality. And I'm concerned because I know this law firm is representing the city in other matters, and I'm concerned if they handle those matters like they handled these matters, they're going to lose and really not be good representatives of the city. Again, you can look up the ruling yourself on this one, but can I get an answer to that question there?
Mr. Shammy?
Again, I will respond to this particular lawsuit as well. Prior to this particular lawsuit filed by Mr. Cradaville, there were government records decisions and other related decisions that would support the city's position in denying to release the emergency management plan. This is an extension of the emergency management plan, and that is why it was denied access at the time. When the judge actually saw the plan in camera, he made a decision, subjective as it may have been, with all due respect to Judge Rivas, that he didn't see any harm in the plan being released, and he ordered its release. So that this particular plan was subject to his opinion at the time, and therefore the judge ruled against the city. As far as the Hoagland firm goes, it's my personal opinion. They're very good attorneys. They do a very thorough and diligent and very thorough job, actually. And unfortunately, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Thank you, Mr. Shammy. The time of the gentleman has expired. Clerk, on the list.
Council President, the next person on the list is Ms. Danielle Moore.
Moore, you're up on the resolution. Go ahead, Ms. Moore.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Well, first thing I would just like to make a good comment. I do see far as with 15 and a couple of other items, I do say it's good to see that the city is getting prepared for the winter, even though they say we're going to have a warm one, but I don't believe it. And it's good to see that the city doesn't believe it, how they're providing for salt and new pavement trucks. That is good to see. It's a couple of, let me get my picture correct. Oh, I just missed it. If you can tell me what this for number 4, what the grant is, Safe and Secure Community Grant Program for $32,400, please. Information on that.
Sure, Captain Miller, do you want to handle that?
Yes, the Safe and Secure Grant is a grant we've been getting for at least 20 years. I'm not sure exactly when it goes back to, but the $32,000 is just a percentage of money that goes towards salaries. It partially funds 2 officers within a department. Like I said, we've been getting it for over 20 years, and then it goes towards salaries of 2 officers.
Okay, and this has also the DARE and the youth program, and
what was that, sir?
does that have to do with the youth and preventative programs?
No, the Safe and Secure Grant, that portion of it does not have to do with any youth programs.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Moore.
What's the difference between that one and number 9 with Safe and Secure, another $60,000? What's the difference?
I do not know what the $60,000. That I do not believe that's part of the police department's part of the grant. I know the grant is much larger. The $32,000 covers the 2 salaries with it for the police department. I do not know what the $60,000 is.
Number 9, Mr. Mulry.
Safe and Secure Community, another $60,000.
Right.
Yes,
Mr.
number
Mulry.
9 relates to the, can you hear me okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, so number 9 is the 2020 grant for Safe and Secure. That's funds that we have received for that grant, so we're approving the insertion into the budget. The other item, number 4, is requesting the application to submit for the 2021 grant. So it's just 2 separate grant years.
Oh, okay, thank you. And then also as well, I will say, I didn't get a chance to say it when I first came on. Thank you, Charlie Cradaville, for checking in, making sure that they did hear me. And I will say thank you to Charlie Cradaville from the work that you do for the
on the resolutions, Mr. Chairman, on the resolutions, please. On the resolutions, thank you.
Talk about?
Hello? Yes, this is
Yes,
still on the this is still I'm still commenting on the resolution.
Just when you have to talk about a specific resolution, you could talk about Mr. Cradaville at public comment, though, okay?
But this is it's a resolution. I have the right to speak on it's word 16 or number 17. It's a resolution. I have the right to speak.
Yes, and that's what we're talking about. We didn't have any number. We didn't know which number you were talking about.
Come on, be for real. I like I said, I will say to Mr. Cradaville Like I said, great work due to where, like I said, the city and Mayor Cahill has been hiding a lot of things from the residents of New Brunswick and not telling them the truth. And like I said, I will get back to that when it comes to the recycling situation on the next meeting. But like I said, great job, Charlie Cradaville. You have a bunch of liars that are in the city hall. And like I said, wow, it's very sad to see how they keep hiding. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Madam Clerk, anybody else on the list?
Council President, no more members of the public on the list.
Thank you very much.
Move the resolutions.
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes, the resolutions are adopted. We have a OEM COVID-19 update report. Director Rawls.
Good evening. Yes, we do. So unfortunately, we continue to see a steady increase in the number of cases in New Brunswick, as we also see around the state and the country. Most recently, there's been further restrictions on indoor sports that go into effect Saturday, and outdoor gatherings that go into effect on Monday. The new outdoor gathering restrictions do not affect outdoor dining. As always, each week, the youth sports complex. Unfortunately, tomorrow's testing is full, but next Thursday on the 10th, they will be testing at the youth sports complex. And on Monday, you can register. Monday the 7th, you can register for the test. And as always, the city can continue to keep you updated on social media and the city's website. That ends my report.
Thank you, Director. I appreciate that. We have a Code Blue update. Mr. Drulis, who's doing that?
Council President, I'd ask if Mr. Jones, who was on the call, could do that, please.
Mr. Jones?
Yes, I'm here. The City of New Brunswick will be running Code Blue, as we do every year. It will be at the Unity Square building, 81 Remsen Avenue. The times are 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Space will be limited this year, of course, due to the pandemic. And the temperature is 25 degrees. For more information, every Code Blue goes out through a NICS alert, the city's social media account, the city's Facebook, as well as the county social service agencies and the hospitals and the various partners, social service agencies that we work with.
Face masks will be required, Jones?
Yes, of course. PPE is required for everybody, volunteers and guests.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Right.
All right, members of the council who might want to talk about something, start with Vice President Suzanne Socorro Ludwig. Did you want to say something?
Just a few reminders that Santa will be at Monument Square from 1 to 5 this Sunday. And then this Friday, they will be doing the ice sculpting demonstrations downtown. So that's something pretty neat to see while you enjoy some of the restaurants that are trying their hardest to survive through this pandemic, and the other businesses down there. And also the horse and buggy rides start tomorrow night, and you can make reservations through the City Market website. And that is all I have, Council President. Thank you.
Thank you. Woman Escobar?
Yes, I just want to briefly thank the New Brunswick Police Department, Robert Johnson University Hospital, and the Sudan Street Reformed Church. They distributed on November 21st over 240 turkeys to the community. So I want to thank for that. I also want to thank my fellow councilman Egan and his father, Assemblyman Egan, because they sponsored for Thanksgiving several families in New Brunswick. They provided a full course meal that was delivered to these families. So I just want to thank them for their commitment to our community. And that's it.
Thank you. Councilman Egan?
No report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. And thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilman Fleming?
Just tell everybody to stay safe and stay vigilant because there's a lot of cases. A lot of people are getting COVID fatigue, and you see a lot of information about a coming vaccine, and people are becoming real comfortable, and cases are going up every single day. Every single day, and also just to stay. If anybody knows anything, a lot of people are reluctant if they see something going on in their neighborhood, or if they know something, they're kind of reluctant to report it to the police. It's just like they say with the things that go in the airport. If you see something, say something, because that helps us out with getting tips, and solving things that have been going on in the city. That's it.
Well, thanks. And again, everybody who can make it down to the downtown area with the carriage rides, with Santa, checking out the sites and things like that. If you can make it, that's great. We appreciate all that. Okay, we will now open it up to the public portion of the meeting for a public comment. This time we're preparing to open the public comment for up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. In order to assure the City Council can hear from the interested public and that the public can hear public comment, I will organize the speakers in order by last name again. In a moment, I will unmute the public call-in line. At that time, I'll ask you to provide me with your last name. And after asking 3 times, we'll then close the public comment portion. Again, please be mindful that your voice is being telephonically transmitted and to speak slowly and clearly for the benefit of all. I will ask that you please remain silent when I initially unmute the phone so that we can all hear each other and then begin the speaker registration process. Again, as a reminder, all other members of the public will be muted in order to ensure that the City Council can clearly hear and understand the recognized speakers. So, if there are any members of the public who wish to speak and your last name begins with the letter that I call, please shout out your name.
Unmuted.
Starting with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L.
Charlie Cradaville.
Cradaville, thank you. J, K, L, M.
Danielle Moore.
Danielle Moore.
And
J,
Laura
K,
Murray.
L, M. Laura Murs. Thank you. Anybody else? J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W.
This is Herb.
Oh, say that again.
Pam Stefanik.
Pam Stefanik.
Yes.
Thank you. Q, R, S, T, U, V.
T, this is Tarbuz, Herb Tarbuz.
Could you spell your last name, Herb, please?
T is Tom, A-R, B is boy, O-U-S as Sam.
Thank you. Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Once again, for the second time, anybody A through Z that we might have missed, if you would please shout out your last name. And a third time, anybody A through Z, we don't have your name already, would you shout it out for your public comment? Okay, that's the third time. We now have our list. And
Muted.
First up on the list would be
Council President, the first person on the list was Mr. Charlie Cradaville.
Mr. Cradaville. You're up. You have 5 minutes.
Hello, neighbor. I've got to start by saying rest in peace to Dawson Bay, a 20-year-old young man whose life was taken right here in our neighborhood, Mr. Council President. And I am extremely disappointed that no one on this council thought to mention the murder in the streets of our city last night. Do you have any comment on this tragedy?
I'm sure the police are looking into it. And hopefully that the neighbors, if they heard or saw anything, give some tips.
Great. Okay, can anyone tell me how many murders there have been this year in the city of New Brunswick?
No, well, one is one too many, so I think there have been more than that.
Can anyone tell me how many murders there have been in the city of New Brunswick this year?
Nope.
Council President, would you want me to answer that question or not, Council President?
Only if you
Captain
want
Miller.
to. I mean, you've answered it before, but if you want to, go ahead.
For homicides, there have been 4 homicides in the city, from 3 incidents. One incident had 2 homicides, the shooting on Delafield Street. This morning's homicide would be the 4th. Or last night's, I mean.
And thank you. And how many shootings have there been?
Mr. Croneville, you ask that every week, and the answer is going to be the same. I'm not answering that question.
Why not?
I'm not answering why not either.
Okay, I think we deserve a lot better than this. The city has a crime map on its website that people can go see, and there's a 7-day delay. So last night's killing is not on here. But why is there only 1 murder listed on the city's crime map when there are 3, according to Captain Miller, that should be?
I'll have to. I do not know. I will look into that and find out why the other ones are not on there.
And Mr. Council President, you received the notice in the mail about the problems with the water?
Yes.
Okay, and you received it before the last council meeting, but you haven't addressed it at the last one or this one. Why do no members of the council feel the need to address the multiple water quality violations from our water utility? Instead, you're commending one another for giving out turkeys and telling people to, report things to the police. Why didn't anybody take any time to tell us about the problems with our water that we all drink?
Well, notices were sent out. If it was a real emergency and you needed to boil water, that'd be a different thing. Otherwise, things are going on.
I'm sorry, what was that last part?
And things are going on and processing things and learning things and taking care of things.
Yeah. Can you tell me your understanding of what the violation was that was in the notice? Because there's more than just the ones that were in the notice, but what happened?
I don't remember offhand. I just know that was taken care of.
That have been this year, you're not doing your job. If you can't tell me what that water quality violation was, you're not doing your job. This is a disgrace. I cannot believe that the leaders of my city care so little about the issues that matter, the things that are life and death. I mean, did you guys learn nothing from the water quality cover-up from 2010 to 2013, where you should have been telling us to boil the water and you didn't? Did you learn anything from that meeting back in November when you all had the knowledge that there were water quality violations and you kept it quiet and you turned the table around acting like that was some grand gesture and kept this under your hats? Why won't you be up front? You saw the video of the mayor being completely moronic in how he handled this. He has nothing to say about this. He is a coward, and you are an accomplice. You are continuing to make this city worse with your apathy and your support for this mayor who is nothing but corrupt and trying to give away the town to developers. I'm sorry, he can't be bothered about water quality or public safety. He shouldn't be the mayor. And if you can't be bothered about it, you shouldn't be on the council.
The time of the gentleman has expired. Next up on the list, Madam Clerk.
Council President, the next person on the list is Ms. Danielle Moore.
Ms. Moore, you are up now.
Hi, can you
Go
hear
ahead,
me?
Ms. Moore. Yes, go
Can
ahead.
you hear me? Hi, yes. Well, first thing I would like to start off by thanking Mr. Tom Valently and the Parks Department, or the Tree Department, as you can say, whichever way. Thank you for having the tree removed yesterday next to 291 Columbus Place yesterday. I will say good job, but I will say I think that due to since it was a close call because of a situation with the ground being so soft and the tree leaning already, I think the tree department needs to do more inspections on a lot of these trees due to where someone doesn't get hurt. I don't feel that the homeowners have to suffer with their property because of the city's not taking care of their issues. But I will say, great job. Thank you for removing the tree. I would like to ask Captain Miller, is there an investigation going on regards to French Street and Jersey around right by Walgreens picking up too many overdoses, the drug usage 3 times a day? Is anyone investigating who's selling space to keep creating the police department and Robert Wood Johnson, which keep taking in so many patients? Due to where you plan to put a school there at 50 Jersey Avenue, due to where after the last meeting, I'm pretty sure some of you saw the video, due to where when I asked Mr. Jones was there going to be a code blue for a reason. And the only reason why I asked that was where I was passing out hand warmers to the homeless to help them keep warm. And as I was doing it, due to where, wow, like I said, it seems like perfect timing for my video, the capture a video of someone rolling in the road again. Are you investigating this, Captain Miller? How many times a day? When is the police department going to step in and do an investigation to stop this due to where you plan to put a school over there?
No, Ms. Moore, saying when are we going to step in and do an investigation is an inappropriate comment. But yes, we work in conjunction with the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office where we track all the heroin overdoses. We try to make connection between the stamps and the heroin that's being used. And then when we can make a case, we prosecute the dealers when there's been injury or death due to the overdose. We try to make a prosecution with that as well. So yes, we investigate every one of the overdoses when evidence is available to do that.
Well, okay, what I'm talking about investigating, well, if you can investigate, just like as many calls as you got for fireworks, complaints, riding up and down the streets about, looking to see who was selling fireworks. How come this hasn't been investigated to see who's selling this over there to create this problem? I just put up over.
Who's not investigating that?
Excuse me?
Who's telling you that we're not investigating that?
Believe me, throughout the year, it's been a whole entire this year. I done put up at least 25 videos to show how people are rolling in the road, everything, how people are dancing naked. I really think it should be a better investigation with the police department and what's going on over there. And you attempt to put a school. I always prove what I speak, and like I said, from the videos and the pictures of how many times you keep picking up over there, I think it should be a better investigation and shouldn't take this long if you see that many people, a record of being picked up over there regards to drugs.
Anything else, Ms. Moore?
And let's see. I thanked everyone on the situation, and then, like I said, for other things, like I said, once even with the inspector's department, where you have, like I said, I would say you have too many people who's not going out doing inspections on certain things. Due to where, like I said, wow, just passing through, even though I don't live on Somerset Street anymore, just passing through there. From all the rain and all, how much garbage, how many mattresses is loaded out there. Come on, when is New Brunswick? It's not about this thing looks horrible. I meant riding up down the road, you see dead rats in the road. Please, when is the city gonna do better?
Okay, we'll report those to the inspections. Thank you, Ms. Moore. The time of the gentle lady has elapsed. Madam Clerk, next up on the list.
Council President, the next person on the list is Ms. Laura Mers.
Mers, if you could give your full name and address for the record, you're up.
Yes, my name is Laura Mers. My address is 20 Hiram Square in New Brunswick, New Jersey. First,
go ahead.
I just want to say that my husband and I have been really enjoying the closure of George Street and all the outdoor activities the city has done. And we would like to voice our hope as residents and homeowners that this kind of outdoor dining and activities will continue even once the pandemic has resolved, because it really creates a lively atmosphere downtown, makes it feel like it's thriving, and it makes it feel much more community oriented and friendly. So I wanted to thank the city and the council for helping us connect in a safe way during what has been, a very difficult year. So I do want to thank the city council for that. And regarding the friendliness and community safety, I have been concerned about the number of shootings in the city. I do tend to go for long walks and jogs, especially now that I'm not really going to a gym anymore. And I was wondering if the city could provide an update on the number of shootings that have been resolved with an arrest. I saw the footage of the 2 people that had been murdered on Delafield, and 7 others were shot. And I haven't heard anything about whether the people responsible have been found. And so I am concerned and was wondering if maybe the city could provide an update on that.
Well, I think the only update, unless Captain Miller has something different than I have, is that there's the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office and the Police Department continue to look into it. Captain Miller, anything else?
Well, it's still a large investigation, ongoing and active investigation. I can't really speak about any details. It's turned into a much larger investigation than just the shooting on Delafield. Hopefully, when it comes together, there'll be arrests made, and arrests made in other incidents that have happened in both Middlesex and Somerset County. But it is active, ongoing, and we're hopeful that we're going to have a resolution to it.
Thank you, Captain.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And then my last question was just, I recently saw the news release that in New Jersey, all police departments, police officers are supposed to have body cameras. And I was just wondering, I was not aware whether or not the New Brunswick Police Department, if you had body cameras or not, or if there was a plan to get them.
No, New Brunswick does not have them at this time. The governor has indicated that they will be enforced. They're going to have to get them. They do not know, however, where the money's coming from, and hopefully it will come from somewhere. So in the next 2 years, hopefully the money will come from somewhere if he's going to mandate it for every town.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. That's all I had.
And thank you for your comments. Madam Clerk, anybody else?
Council President, the next person on the list is Ms. Pam Stefanik.
Stefanik, name and address.
It's Pamela Stefanik, Executive Director of New Brunswick City Market, 109 Church Street, New Brunswick, New Jersey. I just wanted to make a correction that Santa will be held, photos with Santa, or selfies with Santa, will be held on the 13th of December from 2 to 4 p.m. And Santa will be inside the Performing Arts Center. So Santa will be behind glass to make the visit socially distant. I also wanted to just say thank you to the city for assisting us in installing our holiday decor, and for the assistance from the city to allow many of the restaurants, not only in the downtown city center, but throughout New Brunswick, to utilize the streets and the parking spaces for outdoor dining and installing tents. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that update. Obviously, Santa is a very busy man during these holiday seasons. Madam Clerk, anybody else on the list?
Council President, the last person on the list is Mr. Herb Tarbo.
You're up. Go ahead. If you just, again, give your name and address for the record.
Yeah, this is Herb Tarbus. I live at 411 New Market Road in Piscataway.
Okay.
It's my understanding that an ordinance was passed, or a ballot question was passed, adding 2 members to this council in this general election. Can you tell me what the plans are to create those offices and when those elections will be held?
Okay, it was done by public vote. They voted to increase the council from 5 to 7, and now there's a process to go through. Mr. Shami, could you fill us in?
Yes, Mr. Council President, the question did pass. The voters voted to expand council from 5 to 7. The statute is very specific. Those 2 seats will be up for election the next time local elected officials run in the city of New Brunswick. And that will be in 2022 when the next council elections will be. And those seats will be up for election. One will be for a 4-year term, one will be for a 2-year term.
Does that answer your question, sir?
Yes, thank you. Given the tight coupling between the council and the local Democratic Party, can you tell me if there's already been people selected for those seats?
No, there hasn't been anybody, but it's certainly vetting people at this time.
So the council is vetting people?
No, the people, whether it be the people who want to run, will talk to the local parties. And the parties themselves will reach out to people to see if they are even interested.
Okay, so you're saying they haven't been granted anyone yet, as they usually are.
No.
Because we know that the electoral system in New Jersey and the way it's run by the parties are not in any way, shape, or form fair, but rather the parties just basically select people who will fill these seats. That's not really debatable anymore, given the data that we have in the elections in New Jersey. Also want to point out regarding the elections in New Jersey that the idea of political parties and how to become a political party was last changed in 1920, 100 years ago, and never in that time, in 100 years, no party has been able to reach the threshold to create another political party. Coincidentally, that was done in 1920 to make it more difficult to become a political party, and it happened the same year that women got the right to vote. So it's pretty clear that the current electoral system in New Jersey is very much based and rooted in white supremacy, white male supremacy. And this is something we need to change. And I encourage the folks on the council to understand exactly what your role is, what your personal role is in continuing this system of oppression of the people of New Jersey through this corrupt and biased electoral system. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Madam Clerk, anybody else?
Council President, there are no more members of the public on the list.
Okay, do I hear a meeting adjournment?
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.